Drawing is the beginning, always the beginning. It's always the start of everything. Like how something kind of organizes itself on a page. It's the architecture, and it's, in some cases, the kind of guttural response to something that I'm trying to say. And I don't judge myself, whereas I start becoming very judgmental about my own work as I get closer and closer to like a big painting or a finished painting. You know, it starts to take on a different level of, why should this big thing be in the world? Whereas with the drawing, I was experimenting.
Right.
And I was talking to the art itself.
I have always been a big admirer of your work, admiring your work in painting, wanting to know more about it. But I came into the studio not knowing what to expect because I had not seen your work in drawing. And I was immediately blown away. The first thing that I noticed was the sheer variety of both kinds of drawings and methods and materials. You were sort of an expert in every single drawn medium that one could imagine. And so in a way, walking into your studio was a lesson in what it is to be a great draftsperson. And kind of any media that you want to look at was there.
I basically will make drawings because I need to see something. It's like I have to just do the first thing first, which is make it a line and see what that looks like before I go to the next thing. But I mostly made them and put them away. And the reason why there's such a large variety of materials is that I love materials. I mean, one thing people notice when they come to my studio is the large amount of materials that are lying about, because I never know when I'm going to want to play with something, like whether it's watercolor or gouache or sumi ink or distemper, which is pigment with rabbitskin glue. So one of the ways I progressed through the drawings is I would see an artwork in the world that I found very interesting and I gravitated towards it. I looked it up and I found out how it's made. And it's almost like a kid wanting to know what it's like when they start putting their parents' clothes on. Like when I'd see the Degas monotypes, I thought they were the most extraordinary things ever. In this kind of world of black that these sumptuous things are peeking out of. And they're often like prostitutes bathing. And I thought, well, what is it about the material of monotypes that so beautifully connects to the subject? So then I explored that. For me, that's the point of why play with different materials, is to see what it's going to evoke. These come out of sketchbooks. And you can see with the like stains and everything, they really were not intended to be like any kind of like object that would be precious. They were really guttural images of trying to get an image out of the dinosaur brain, out into the world, that then turned into a painting.
And this is also the drawing for Neon Sunset, which is in our show.
That is correct. And this brings up a point. Some people might call it repetition, and I actually like the idea of like Jasper Johns' way of looking at it, which is to take something, do something to it, ditto, ditto. One of the most important things about being an artist, making art, over the course of 30-some and more years to come, is how do you keep pushing it forward without repeating yourself again and again and again? I think that my main point of focus was how to evolve both materially and formally, you know, what the pictures are without leaving the world that I was growing like some sort of weird, like terrarium. It's definitely swampy. It definitely has a lid. You know, not just anything can get in and get out.
No.
But it's like my terrarium wants to get bigger and bigger. I've never used that term, and I'll probably be sorry I said it. But it's just like this kind of thing where it's a definite ecosystem. But I think that the overriding thing is whether it's the materials or the content, the images, they're all playing out the question of what would happen if I did fill in the blank. I would like to put forth the possibility that all of what I'm doing is a form of questioning what would happen if, what would happen if.